years, I thought I just sucked at makeup. My foundation was always separating, clinging to dry patches, creasing around my eyes, cakey nose, oily forehead. It was a mess. But what if I told you the problem wasn't my makeup at all? It was my skin prep. This week, I cracked the code on proper skin prep, and it changed everything. Stick around, because if your makeup isn't sitting right, you're gonna need to see this transformation. Hey besties, so you know I'm on a mission this year to actually become good at makeup. And I'm starting a new series where every week we master one skill together. This week, it's all about skin prep. Because let's be real, it doesn't matter how expensive your foundation is. If your skin isn't ready, it's just not gonna look good. I've been there, trust me. And honestly, I'm tired of watching influencers use 45 different products and recommending like super expensive fixes. Because I refuse to believe that all of that is necessary for a good foundation. So today we're testing the theory. Can simple, effective skincare make your skin look flawless? Especially for us dry skin girls. And you might be surprised to find out what I'm actually skipping this week. After stalking makeup artists for like days on TikTok, I noticed something huge. Almost all of them focused on skincare more than primer or didn't use primer at all. Is primer out? You guys tell me. I kind of thought the more skincare, the better. But layering too many products underneath makeup is a huge mistake and causes like pilling up or like big flakes of skin, which definitely has happened to me. So basically we had to look for the perfect combination and the perfect order of products. The consensus though is that your skin should look healthy before applying makeup. The hot take this week is I'm completely skipping primer. So instead I'm focusing on hydrating light layers. Here's a simplified routine that actually works on my dry skin. First off is cleanser, which I applied today off camera. I'm using the CeraVe or CeraVe. This is the hydrating cleanser for dry skin. I have to say this product is like very neutral but cleans my face really nicely. If you guys are subscribed to me or have seen my videos, you'll know that like any additives in products really break me out or give me like redness in my skin. So this is like simple, huge, affordable. It does the job. I am not straying away from that. The next step would be to exfoliate, which I do only a couple times a week for the same reason. And I kind of switch up what I use. But for this week, I'm keeping it realistic. No 17-step routines here, because who has the energy for all of that before makeup? Next, we're gonna do a Milky toner or an essence. And I feel like there's gonna be no shock with what product I pull up next. This is the Bioma Hydrating Milky Toner, and everyone and their mom is using Milky toners these days. The Bioma one is a very big crowd favorite. After some research, I decided to use this one because I find that having the lightest layer first really allows the skincare to layer on top of each other, and this is pretty lightweight of a product. But honestly, I'm sure there's a ton of hydrating Milky toners out there. I'm gonna put some on my hand. You guys can't see, but I'm doing this on my couch right now. And then press it in to my face. And then we're just going to go in circles and make sure I've covered everything. This is the part where I get impatient. You really have to wait for products to dry before you go on to the next one. And that, my friends, is my least favorite step. But I didn't realize how important it was because that's when the pilling starts. So let's let it dry before we move on. Next step is serums. For someone with dry skin like myself, I would highly recommend a serum next. Again, I'm not an expert, but this is just what I saw online. I have two favorites. We're drugstore friendly here. These are the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops. These are actually my all-time favorite serum. However, I do find that they run out really fast because I just want to slather them all over my face. Now, these ones work just as well, but are a very different texture. This is the Bioma Phytomucin Glow Serum. One of the reasons I'm going to be using this is because it's the same brand as the toner, so they are actually formulated to work together. And again, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I always try to do that so that I don't have any like pilling with my skincare. You need very little product, so it's actually lasted me so long. And it's a very interesting texture. It's supposed to hydrate and plump, and I honestly feel like it does that job. We'll rub this one in. I really try to concentrate the products into some of my dry spots, so that's all across here. You can see because they get a little bit red, as well as right between my eyebrows. I do try to avoid my eyebrows though, because sometimes it messes with like the eyebrow gel later. Maybe that's just me. And again, we're letting it dry. My least favorite part. Then we would go in with a moisturizer and then a sunscreen in that order. However, I usually don't have time for all that, and I still want to have SPF protection. So I like to go in with a 2-in-1. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. It's a hyaluronic acid moisturizer with SPF 50. I really like their original Hydro Boost moisturizer, so I thought I'd try the SPF, and I was so thrilled with the result. The biggest thing for me about this product is I cannot find an SPF that doesn't burn my eyes. I don't know what the deal is with my skin, but my eyes burn every single time I put on any SPF, like burn. And I've researched people online being like, this one doesn't burn my eyes. It always burns my eyes. I think I'm just really sensitive, I don't know. But this one, it smells, I'm not gonna lie, like sunscreen, but it really works and no burning at all. Another reason I like to do the SPF and moisturizer combo is because I think just like less products, less cakiness, less pilling in general. So when I can do a 2-in-1, I always opt for that. Primer, skipping it. If I'm not going into foundation, I like to use like a glowy product. These two are my favorite for different price points. This is the Fenty Beauty All Over Glow Enhancer, and this one is the Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filter. Honestly, I reach for this one a lot more and it's cheaper, so do with that information what you will. If you are going in with a foundation though, I would highly recommend for summer and for like a flawless finish, the Maybelline Lifter Plump and Glow foundation. It has been my recent favorite. But one of the tips that I saw online is to actually skip foundation. So putting that back. I'm gonna go in with a glow enhancer. I think this is supposed to be like a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. I have never used it because I swatched it in store and it was like orange on me. Like truly orange, like their lightest shade. So that was a no-go for me. As you can see, like this actually runs a little orange, but as I rub it in, it really blends right into my skin and leaves just a subtle glow on top so that I don't have to wear foundation. Usually I would blend this in with a beauty blender or with a brush, but since we're going for flawless makeup today, I like to use my fingers because it warms everything up and really presses it into the skin. And with whatever product I use, I always try to avoid my under eyes because we don't want too much product down there, and I'm gonna put concealer on. Again, more products stacking on top, bad, don't do that. Since less is more, we're going straight in with concealer. This is the House Labs concealer in the shade 03 Fair Rosy. I'm pretty much just gonna spot conceal. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand and then use my finger, the same technique I used for my glow, and just tap wherever I need the product. Like, I feel like you can't even see that I'm wearing makeup. Still looks like my skin, but more even. Now, it is the summer, so I'm not gonna skip setting powder entirely, but I'm also not gonna bake my entire face with it because something I've learned is that that leads to a lot of cakiness. So with a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna go over the spots that I concealed. You can see that it's already blurring out my skin without making it look dry. I forgot to tell you, but this is the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. This one is in the shade 05 Porcelain. Now, I know I told you I did a Sephora sale haul. One of the things that I picked up is actually the House Labs new blush. It's so pretty. This one's in the shade Glassy Rosette. And I think that this is going to be very creamy and hydrating on the skin. Yeah, I mean, look at that. So I'm gonna go in with this next and tap just under where I put my concealer. I already have a lot of like natural blush on my face because my cheeks are just rosy, so I don't feel like I have to add a lot. Next, we're going in with the rest of my powder products. This is the Milani Baked Powder Blush, and it's in the shade Dolce Pink. This shade is always giving like luminous glow, so I always use it when I want to look really dewy. And for me personally, I have to avoid putting as much product as I can on my nose because, as I mentioned earlier, it slides right off. With this new skin prep routine, it's so much better, but still, I don't usually put concealer on it at all. This is the, I think it's called YC Collection Bronzer in the shade Enough, and it is gorgeous. I actually like to use the same brush, tap the product off, and it almost creates like a transition from the blush into the bronzer. And the same thing underneath here. I feel like it's giving no makeup, and I'm obsessed with it. That's it for the base, glowy and hydrated. And I'm gonna move you over so that you can see there is literally no pilling, no cakiness in sight. I am gonna finish the rest of the look and be right back. And I'm back. We finished up the eyes, the lips, and we are officially done. Why does my makeup look so much smoother? I feel like my foundation usually sticks to my dry patches right around here and here, and it's literally not doing that. Skipping primer, I'm not gonna lie, feels illegal, but my makeup feels less heavy without it. I think sometimes primer makes my makeup feel like it's sitting on top of my skin instead of like seeping into my skin. I don't know if that makes sense. And waiting a few minutes between skincare and makeup, a game changer. It genuinely helped way more than I expected. All of the tips and tricks and research that I learned online, I feel like really have helped me this week. If you're still trying to figure out the basics of makeup application or a total beginner, I've got you covered. Feel free to check out my beginner makeup tutorial. I linked it right there, where I basically break down makeup into very simple, easy steps. It's the perfect next step after mastering your skin prep. So final verdict, hydration matters way more than primer. And simple, affordable skincare worked a lot better than layering a million expensive products. Don't at me, but I feel like the beauty industry like wants us to just buy as many products as possible, and we don't need all that. Or at least I don't need all that. It's official, I've entered my trying to be good at makeup era. Next week, I'm thinking brows because they could use some work. Which makeup skill do you think I should learn next? Comment below and subscribe so you see next week's video. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go stare at my makeup in another lighting now.